The time is upon us once again. Check, check. In the chat room, how are we looking? Sounding good? The time is upon us once again. The time to win is at long last here. Market open in about 18 minutes. Can you guys feel the aroma in the air? Can you feel the sensation of green coursing through your veins as the moon becomes in sight? This is where, if you're watching WWE, The Rock then says, "Can you smell what I'm cooking?" VLCN, I stepped into the bathroom and came back. It's up. All good. It looks like it was a pretty quick move. Hard to say. Did we see any micros along the way up? I don't know. Remember, if you're tuning in on YouTube, that day trading is risky. The members in the chat room, they know this. The long-time YouTube viewers, they know this. For those of you who are newer to the channel, remember that day trading is risky. Remember to never use money that you cannot afford to lose. Copy trading does not work here on this channel. And lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers. Be careful of fake accounts. Be careful of fake advertisements. People are stealing the Team House content and running ads on YouTube, Meta, and other platforms. We are working day and night to get these issues resolved. We do not use WhatsApp. We do not use Telegram. Be careful of all these fake advertisements. I'll remember to say this again later towards the open as we get more people tuned in. I do have the scanners pulled up here. In terms of what's moving, VLCN, of course, BSLK, and I do have ABVE. There are some others, though. I think BSLK might be good for the open. Early around 7 a.m., my DAS continues to have this issue where when I log in and try to place a trade, it asks me to select an account. And it's quite annoying because I have to like log out and log back in a few times sometimes for it to work. So I did miss BSLK in the first 2 to 3 minutes around 7 a.m. But you know, it's been slow and steady. It's pushed up again here around 8, and then now we're going sideways. So definitely a good stock to watch coming into the open. Okay, it's up 80%, 41 million shares of volume. Looks decent. And doesn't look bad at all. And we're going sideways in a channel, so lows. Looks like we have a bit of a double bottom here, actually, around 380. And the high side of this channel, a little bit more narrow, around 430. But we do have high of day all the way up at 470s. How are we doing on our daily chart? We did push up a couple days ago, getting a high point of 474 back on the 8th. And that's right where our pre-market high basically is. And so over that level, do we have any room to the upside? Potentially. Room up to 678. Looks good. Looks all right for a gap fill. So we'll be rooting for this one. We've been seeing some stronger opportunities after the open the last 2 to 3 days, which is good news for us. We've been seeing a slower pre-market though. I mean, excluding perhaps VLCN today. You know, with that move from 25 to 60 in less than a minute, right? Yeah, we're still working on the ads getting taken down on YouTube. YouTube customer service sucks is the issue. You know, they have the tech support. You go into the tech support and all they can do is send you to other links, which then you reply to with all the information, and then, you know, it's this waiting game. So we'll see as it goes. BSLK curling up a little bit. Honestly, BLCN, I don't know if I'll look at it. It will be volatile. There will be opportunities, but it's been a little tricky managing risk on stocks above $50. For the people who are holding for, 5, 10, 15 minutes plus, I think they might see a bit of a smoother experience. For the hyper scalps, I think I'll ease off with that type of stock. BSLK a little bit more what I want to see, what I want to trade. Yesterday, a lot of commotion here where I'm at, a lot of things going on, which is why I had to end the live stream early. Had some maintenance. So the stream ended early, and then 8 p.m. came, and 8 p.m. we didn't do too well on it. I was getting filled above the ask price. I mean, it was just kind of crazy, but it's all good. It's fair. I understand. There's no big deal. But my biggest problem really was aiming at support and then being in a little too high, being uncomfortable in the trade, not being able to hold long enough. That was the biggest issue for me yesterday on 8 p.m. So I wasn't able to add to the gains. Instead, I gave back. We ended up with 180 from highs of 585 on the first two trades out of the halt on the more expensive stock yesterday at like $20. I can't remember the name of it of that ticker, but today, let's see what we get. Honestly, sometimes too, I think being a little bit more aggressive and throwing out the order early to see can be a good thing. But of course, even then, you got to be careful and make sure that you're getting the support zone, right? Because some of these stocks, when they don't break out of the range properly, they're going back to low of day, and you can buy the pullback early, and then you're losing massively. So you got to really manage that trade well. I think the best thing is the starter and just cutting the starter if we're pulling back too much, rather than even trying to add into it. So the mission objective today is to get green, retain our profits, retain our earnings, and to close the day out nicely. Are we going to see some pre-market action here? For BSLK into the open, can we see new highs over 77? I'd like to see it pull away though, like 85, 90. VWAP is way down there. Yeah, it still needs some more time pulling back here. There's 3 minutes left in a 5-minute candle. We can recover. Hopefully we do. So that into the open is pretty active, closer to the highs. Will we see a break of the pre-market highs right into the open? That is a trade I want to keep an eye out for. So by the way, and those of you tuning in on YouTube, I'll pull up the 10-second chart and then I'll show you guys a picture of this. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's see. Hold up. Hold on. Give me a quick sec here. Let me come back to the disclaimer screen. Okay, this works. All right. So this is one of the fake ads. Be careful, right? This is one of the fake ads that are going around on the channel. So for those of you who've never like ran an ad before on YouTube, what they allow you to do, you can target someone's channel specifically. So let's say I wanted to run ads on Humble's Trader's channel, I could. So that all of her viewers can see my ads. It's something that I could do. Like YouTube allows this. So what this person has done, or people or group, they've created a bunch of garbage. They stole the Team House content, and now they're running it back on my channel. So anytime you click on the video and you don't have like YouTube Premium, sometimes you'll see an ad, and this is one of the fake ones that they have here. They're just throwing a voiceover on it. The YouTube system is honestly terrible. Even Facebook and Meta, you know, their software should be able to pick up that this content is already posted and being reused, and at least do an investigation. You know, which is how copywriting works. But maybe because this is an ad and not an actual video, their software just has no way of telling. You know, so sadly, it's being publicized. And what's even worse is that I've tried to run ads with my own content and they've denied it multiple times in the past. So, you know, seeing this is like, even for me, is even kind of crazy. So be careful, you know, don't get scammed. Do not put in your credit card or any personal information in any of this garbage. Bro, I mean, you know, I'm a pretty sane person, but there are certain things that make you, you know, want to do things to people in not such a good way. But we keep sane, we keep cool, we keep level-headed, and we try to do all the right things, the correct ways of solving the issue. You know, working with YouTube, taking legal action if necessary, and not resorting to violence. Because I'm pretty sure we could find these people, you know, but that's a different conversation. BSLK moving up a little bit and now consolidating, coming into the open. I'm only streaming on YouTube right now. I used to stream on Facebook. Twitch was a bit of a so-so. But yeah. Gotta keep sane and moral and prudent, or else you can get caught up in the sauce in all the wrong ways. Maybe that helps out somebody out there who's listening, right? Who might be going through something. So I'm gonna pull up the 10-second chart. We had a good long look. We had a good long look at this watch listen scanner here. Now we'll pull up the 10-second chart and get BSLK. By the way, I didn't write up the watch list. I can do that. VLCN, ABVE, and then do I want to put this XXII on here? Like this, it's so easy. It's so easy for YouTube to do an investigation on this too. Like, all they have to do is pull up my channel and then see who's running ads targeting my channel, and then see who's using the team house ads, like my own content, let's say. Like this is 1, 2, 3 ABC. Like the fact that it's taking so long for them, like. And Meta also has the same issue. Okay, all right. Looks good. Everything checks out. We got a minute 20 seconds to the opening bell. Not quite looking at the opening surge anymore, being that we pulled back off the highs. So coming into the open, smaller size. Make sure my time and force is good to go. Looks good, looks good. Slow and steady. Looking for a stock to hold up, and then I'll gradually increase my size, get green, and get the heck out. Nice and slow. BSLK Titanic, perhaps. I mean, we'll see. Okay, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. VLCN halting down, perhaps. It's a false halt down. Waiting patiently. Bro, somebody got to do it, right? Now they're throwing blame. Oh my god. This sounds like it's an industry plant. At this rate, my channel is gonna get delisted. and taking down for teaching too many people how to trade. Another day, I suppose. If this doesn't speak volume, I don't know what does. BTCS. I'm gonna check out some other ones. The pastor's name. By the way, I'm more like known than people will think. Like, I mean, this space isn't that big, right? Like everybody knows what's going on, and nobody's stupid. So, I mean, there's that. Which is also why I talk how I talk, because people know what's going on. Like, they know that around on this side, we're the real deal. The real deal. XXII. I'm gonna keep checking out a couple other ones just to see. Not really seeing much. I'm gonna go to single screen for a sec here. I don't want to have the scans on too long. Or Ross is gonna call my phone saying, RT, what's going on, brother? BSLK, not looking good. XXII is close to a halt up. Is it worth taking a small position? And okay, looks like it might halt up actually. Not in. High of day was 65. This could provide an opportunity on a resumption. Pre-market highs ways away. TRON. You know, when it comes down to having an edge in a zero-sum game means that somebody has to lose. Best the market maker lose than somebody else, right? Than a real person. They can afford it. They can afford the loss. WINT is coming down, so I think XXII in the next 3 minutes might be the most obvious one. Halted up on a red to green. I have WINT on another chart here. Still trying to find the one. So just waiting patiently. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. We do appreciate it. Right now, I'm waiting on ticker symbol XXII, which has been halted up. Resumption will happen in 1 minute and 23 seconds and counting. Run up the likes. Yeah, as you guys, by the way, yeah, as you guys see that ad, make sure to report it. That'll help out as well. So as you guys see the ad, make sure to report it. There's an option to report it, I believe, like in the bottom left. For the people running ads on Meta, what they do, they usually block my account. They block all of our accounts, so we can't even see until someone like reports it to us that they saw a fake ad. You know, it's crazy world. So 35 seconds, no fear, no hesitation, looking for the dip and rip. It's showing 55 resumption. So if it does, it's going to be a 10-minute halt. It's showing 58, so it's probably going to be 10 minutes here. If not, looking very carefully, watching. Five seconds. Yeah, it's 10 minutes. So it's probably going to resume at 8:50. 5 more minutes. What I hope though is that like people are not actually getting scammed from this. Bro, there's so much like liability in this type of stuff. Talk about risky business, right? I've spoken like on FaceTime with like the big gurus, like the big YouTubers in this space that's in trading, and they like some of them have told me like, yeah, like they're dealing with this stuff, you know. So OPAD, I'll check it out. Volume is still fairly light. The halt up though is at 83. Definitely volatile. OPAD. I mean, if we see a good pullback, that could be good. The highs are at 88. Maybe it keeps going. 418 is the halt up, but it's pretty volatile, pretty risky. I only got like a small position watching, cutting it sub 50. VWAP is at 30, so maybe it holds up. Resumption, 2 minutes, 30 seconds out. I'm trying not to do too much back and forth, like pulling up one stock and then pulling this one back. You know, this seems like it's going to be the main stock, so I'll just wait right here and just trade the others on the side screens. VLCN still halted down. We got a minute 30 seconds to go. Minute 30 seconds. Time, a minute 10 seconds. The key here is to be accurate. Like the halt trade is all about accuracy. If you're not accurate, usually there's a pretty thin margin for error. So if you're wrong, it's usually like a bigger loss. It's definitely a high risk, high reward kind of a situation. The risk is real, so manage accordingly. We're currently at 8:04. Resumption might be around 8:50 in the next 15 seconds. No fear, no hesitation. Looking for the dip and rip. Didn't quite get a pullback in there, which is fine. The halt up is at 48. I'm early on that dip. Recycling the shares. Oh man, it is failing miserably. Okay. Lows are at 13 there. So not quite the dip and rip we would want to see. We had a big push, no pullback. Now a massive pullback. 813 for those lows. There is still time though for the 5-minute candle to recover, so we'll see how it plays out. Is another dip worth it? Perhaps. High of the current candle is 90. Again, there's still time for the 5-minute candle to recover, perhaps close as a doji. VWAP 950 towards the highs. It is not worth that second dip. And it's going to halt down at 790. Not ideal. Okay, is there anything else? So it started off pretty strong and it's like weak right away out of the resumption. Okay. I'm going to give a look through to the other ones. AVVE, BSLK, not much. BTCS, not much. OPAD. OPAD curled back up a little bit. 388 for the highs. Could be something there. And then VLCN. That one resumed much lower, curled up into a halt. WINT. And then is there anything else that I missed on the scans? OPAD. Let me check the 5-minute chart. Just now it had a pretty big range, a little sporadic. Something to keep an eye out for. I tried selling on the ask and didn't get filled there, which is interesting because it's above my order. Hitting 90, 89, 90, or we saw 95 right there. I got a partial. XXII I'll pull on the other screen since it's in the depths. Bro, it's like a VWAP rejection. Just no hold, no high hold, and double bottom at the actual low lows into new lows. That resumption is 2 minutes away. MRKR, is there something there? It's up 38%, but only 500,000 shares of volume. Resumption a minute 10 seconds. It's showing 65, so it's like what's that, like a 35-cent loss, which is not what I would want, but I mean wherever it resumes is where we'll get out. And ironically, the resumption bounce honestly doesn't look like a bad trade. We got another 25 seconds to resumption. It's showing 65, and there's now 10 seconds. And I'm out 66. A bit of turbulence to start the day. So gonna just take it easy, smaller size, and just wait. I only want to put out size towards a stock that has the potential of holding up and going higher. The bulk of that last move on XXII is going to be the resumption itself, the gap on the halt, and the additional push, not quite getting the entry. Everything after that backside. So back to smaller size and waiting. OPAD, we'll see. VLCN actually got all the way back to the highs, which is interesting, or at least close to it. You know, there's people that got caught on the move down, and then you know there's some people that caught the move going up, and then vice versa. Somebody might have shorted thinking it was a nice move, looking to sell off, and it's back up. Yeah, XXII having a tough time. OPAD. There could be something here, but you know, it needs to first break out of this bear flag and then retest the highs, hopefully making a new high. We took 700 in losses there on the other stock. This momentum is just, where's the real stocks, the real moves? Pre-market was kind of slow besides that candlestick on VLCN. I think I'm completely hands off right now. Nothing really looking great. Let me check the chat room. Oh yeah, by the way, I was talking about the free trial for the chat room on Monday. Well, I think Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Yesterday I had to leave early, so we didn't really get to finish up the conversation. But I'm gonna put out an invite link, and for those of you who want the free trial, you guys can join. And then All you have to do is you'll have to DM me though. You'll have to DM me and say, just say, "Hey RT, I'm looking for the free trial." Something like that will be fine. Never generate link. So for those of you looking for the 2-week free trial in a chat room, I'm going to post the link. By the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I'm gonna add everyone after the stream. I don't want to open up comments and like DMs, things like that during the live stream. Best not to leak Steve's DM, right? Big Steve. Big Steve loves the Latinas. Okay, let me stop. Yeah, we have like 6 different voice channels. But you're not gonna have one that's your own though. Like, it's like a shared channel with other traders. MRKR pushing up a little bit. Well, I added for over 50 and it immediately dropped to 43, so I sold half. What was that? This one definitely has potential, that's for sure. There's a seller. Well, it's still going up. Maybe a fake order. Hard to say. My trend lines on this one is out of date. So far, so good. High of 79. I was hoping for more of a pullback there, but pretty bad fill. Man, those trades are always tough. Of course. Lovely. The moment I size up, it stalls out. No break of 3, at least not yet. The halt is at 318. The halt is at 26 now. Oh, I'm on the wrong order entry for that ad. So I only added the baby size. Not good. It might rip to like 350 eventually. Dang, that last trade there, that ad would have been great. Bro. Mm. Halting up at 359. I definitely got to use more size. But the trade that we added with the wrong hotkey was like a $300 winner. We kind of messed up there. Anyhow, this is good. It's strong. Now, will we see a dip and rip on this one? Well, we definitely got to use a little bit more size here. Man. Yeah, anytime the ad runs, just report it. YouTube, man. It'd be so interesting just to see what these people look like the people who are running the ads, you know? It better not be one of y'all watching, because then that would be even more crazy. I doubt that would be the case. Watching at MRKR. Steve, brother. Watch, the fact of the matter is that most people watching are supporters, right? 99% of people. But is there a chance one person out there, you know? Maybe. I definitely would have wanted to be up more on the stock at this point, but I still think it's bullish, and we can still see great entries here. In at 8, out at 13, 18, and 34 on the last trade. Didn't get back in. I definitely need to be more aggressive towards high of day breakouts in these situations. I think that could be a good thing. If this could go to like $7, $8 today, this would be awesome. Would be lovely. My trend lines are all out of date. Looks like there was a split or something at some point. Maybe, maybe not. Well, definitely. Looking at that daily chart. Once again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you're tuning in on YouTube. And also, don't forget our disclaimer, day trading is risky. Be careful of fake ads, fake advertisements. People are stealing the trading team content and are running ads with it on Meta and right here on YouTube. Right now we're working to get all these things taken down, but continue to be careful. Do not put in your personal information by any means. And if you did, cancel your credit card now and get a new one just to be safe. Because if they're willing to run fake advertisements with somebody else's content, you don't know what they're willing to do. MRKR. I've built a small cushion again. Can we see a good dip and rip? Can we see a good dip and rip? At the end of the day, I'm here to take on some risks, so I don't mind putting some size. But can we see a good setup? Can we see a stock hold up on a resumption trade? Size could easily become my middle name on this trade. I could take 10,000 shares here, no problem, but will the stock hold up? That's the key. Taking on risk is something I don't mind doing at all, but it's just, can we see the consistency in the moves, the follow through? We'll give it a shot, right? I accept the risk, and I'll look to take the best setup here. If I don't see it, I'm not touching it. 6 seconds. 359. We dipped 5 cents. Like, dipping 5 cents is not the real deal. Not even close to it. Oh, not good. And I got filled at 03. False breakout. Last time we got up, it did false breakout as well. And then the second time it went. Will the second time be the charm? Are we gonna see it? Again? Try again. Try again. Like you know you can. But only 90. Oh, okay. Sold too soon. Oh, no. It's still triple top, though. It's still triple top. Okay, I'm going to come back down in size just a little bit. It's going to triple top right there. So through 4 is the obvious resistance here. And honestly, over 4, I'd size like a madman if it gives me the entry. Although sometimes higher could be a little bit more risky. Are we seeing backside? What is the MACD saying? Trying out the good old MACD right here. MRKR. MACD is saying we're still good. It's pulling back though. It's really pulling back here. VWAP is still down there. And I reduce the risk on this trade just in case. But smaller size, let's just kind of see. I'm watching to see if it does want to curl back up. Maybe it might. The day that I can read the future, man, I tell you. That is the day I become a billionaire. The next day. The moment they invent the time machine. Pastor will be sparing no prisoners at that point. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm just being honest. They'd probably have to like regulate that though if that was to be a thing. We got up to 53 right there, then back down. I think I'm gonna wait here. Scratch trade. The VWAP is still below us quite a bit. Did I paper hands it? Yep, I paper hands it, of course. Man. It's like every time I sell, it's like that's the moment. The next 3 seconds is the moment the stock goes. But it's good. I mean, we're having a flag here of some sort, which, you know, it's still early. And there's still time in this candlestick, so we could even see new lows as possible. McSteve, the moment I sell, the moment the stock goes, brother. And we'll take a loss there. Okay. New lows. And it looks like it's about to cross over too on the MACD, so if VWAP doesn't hold up, that's it. The news, I don't read the news. It's been like 4 years since I read the news. There is a day where the company announced bankruptcy and then went up 300%. GNUS. Since that day, I never checked the news again. And we've also had great news headlines where the stock, you know, had a hard time. 14-cent loss, 1,000 shares, not good. Well, the good news is that we're now flat on the day, but the bad news is that we did lose on XXII. Honestly, this 800 would have been more than enough to walk away with. Now, that doesn't mean we still can't walk away with a flat day. It kind of just depends on how the next hour goes in terms of us seeing opportunities. So for now, I'm back to small size again, and I need something to prove itself to me for me to then size back up. And even on this move out of the resumption, I didn't really use any real size. Like real size is like 10,000 shares on this stock. For me, at least. For somebody else, then that could still be small size, but at least like 9K. Like buying 2-3 times 5K blocks. Willing to risk it. Will we see something else, or will this same stock hold up? So I'll keep an eye here just in case it ends up holding up this. We're getting a bit of a downtrend here, though. MACD is saying that it's cooked. VVPR. Hey, BVE. How is VLCN doing? Oh, it looks like it went lower. Checking the chat room. Let's see if I missed anything. The reason why nobody can't blame me, right? Here's why. They can't blame me because I invented this, bro. I invented hyper-scalping. If anybody says otherwise, they don't know nothing. Trust me. I did it live, and I'm still doing it live today. You can check the receipts since 2018, 2019. The day commissions went to zero is the day I invented this strategy. And I'm claiming that because I was here and I did it live. I don't care who was doing it in the shadows, because they were doing it in the shadows. I did it live with millions of people to see on display every day. Did the recaps for years, day in, day out. And then I also taught a bunch of people how to do it too, some of which who are millionaires now. So you can't blame me for inventing something and then also sharing the wealth. Now, if I went and learned it from somebody and then shared it, then it's a different story. It's a different conversation. I'm the creator of this strategy. What does Tim say? The Euphorus. I am the. Here's where my vocabulary is gonna have to shine. I am all the aboves, man. The emperor, the dictator, the whatever word you want to fill in the blank with. Now I'm only talking like this because people are making videos about how I created a problem with trading, you know? So I'm talking to those people specifically who might be listening. They got to know who they're dealing with here. Don't feel like you're going to go create a video on me and operate as if I'm not the one who came here and put it all on the line. All right. The top G of hyper-scalping. It's not about me caring. It's about me letting it be known straight how it is, which is that Relentless Trader created the strategy. So I could choose to do what I want to do with it. So if I want to share the knowledge, because that's what people are mad about, right? People on all these sites are mad that we're giving away knowledge. Other people have been mad about it, you know, so it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time either. So this is so they go make another video too, you know. ABVE doesn't really look that good. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Still on the sidelines. It's also a little funny too, right? IMNN. Let's check it out. Bro, if you're here for a long time, you know that in the downtime as we're waiting on something, we can go on a long rant. This is like vintage RT, right? But I think it's still important to at least be, you don't want to be over the top. And I can sound over the top how I'm talking, but I'm not, especially for the people who know me. But it's good to be proud in what you have here, you know, especially when it's like an authentic, real community and there's transparency. Transparency. Good old transparency. RT invented streaming. I just want you guys to know that, you know, and by the way, shout out to BMAC, right? Yeah, there's people who've gotten banned for and they hold for 5-10 minutes at a time. It's quite interesting. MRKR resumption. I'm gonna go back to single screen. ABVE, you know, is it worth it? Am I maybe sleeping on this one? Let me at least just take it a little bit more serious here as it's getting closer to the pre-market highs. Maybe it's the stock to turn the day around here. We have highs of 310. Pre-market highs, on the other hand, 318. We haven't really pulled back in a while, well, since 3 at 14 cents. Okay, ABVE perhaps might have what it takes here. The candle is about to close in the 5. I don't know. It's like I'm not super interested in this one. I'm gonna do a rotation here. BSLK from pre-market, no good. BTCS. IMNN. MRKR. And MRKR. Christmas tree. OPAD. Not much. It's on a bear flag. It could pop a little bit, but it doesn't really look that good for what I like. Steve just in the chat saying anything, man. Big Steve. What is going on? We held up 3, it looks like. Let me know if you guys got any questions here while we're waiting on something else. I'll keep an eye on ABVE, but for now, still sidelines. Still sidelines. I'd like to see a little bit more volatility. I want to see quicker moves. So there's a bit of a breakdown here to 94. Why don't I use Lightspeed? I mean, if my platform here gets taken down, then I wouldn't mind giving it a try, especially in pre-market. Pre-market, and I think a platform like that might push us to take a little bit more size too, because sometimes taking size in this platform can be a little iffy. A dead cat bounce. I mean, there's a lot of setups that are like we're not really seeing as much. I mean, blue skies, where the stock market, the overall stock market is at all-time highs. Yet we're not really seeing cheaper stocks at all-time highs on the daily chart. We used to have that be a thing, like, you know, rising tide lifting all ships kind of thing. And some companies just doing well. Sympathy momentum is also not really, we're not really seeing it as much. Last year, if one stock is really strong in a specific sector, the chances of another stock in that same sector also giving a move in tandem was like 70% of the times. That I don't even think we've saw that this year. Like on a raw small cap stock that's just strong and another one, because the charts will look identical too, right? As if people are taking the same exact trades, but sometimes it'll be like a whole different group of traders on the other one. A lot of this market is just adapting and also being patient. There's like a rotation. Yeah, we've had a lot of good sectors throughout the time. Every sector really has had like a hot moment. The steady ones are usually pharmaceuticals because they're usually releasing data and or news in relation to trials. I find that over the years, like biotech and pharmaceuticals have been like steady, but we've had other stocks to do well, technology stocks. You had batch cam stocks one time, shipping stocks, cannabis stocks, crypto stocks. Back when crypto was hot, if a company would just announce anything about blockchain, 100% move. Like we've seen some madness. It takes a lot to open up a brokerage, a broker, like to be a broker, and then even a market maker. It's you're getting into some real big money, billions. I don't know. I never really thought about doing all of that, but you know, who knows? Sometimes you never know where you're gonna end up. But if I'm to be a market maker, you know, we'll have to find a way where it makes sense for everyone. And on the table deal, not just some, you know, hidden stuff and nonsense. Saying one thing and then something else happening, you know? But that's the issue with business these days is that there are margins, you know, just like these public companies, right? These people need to make as much money as they can possibly make and find new ways of making more, and it doesn't end. So when that's happening, then, you know, sometimes there's like a problem, a morality clause, if you want to say. I think the capitalism can work. It can definitely work well, but there also needs to be like a line in the sand, you know? Because if not for the people, then for who? Without the people, there is nothing. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Trump could do a live stream with his personality. Trump could do a live stream and take two trades at the open and then go about the rest of his business. Not really seeing anything hitting the scans. Bro, think or swim or no think or swim. Opportunities are available. That's all we need to know. Light speed, no light speed, opportunities are still available. You know, at the end of the day, as the trader, we got to always look at ourselves and say, did we respect our risk management? Did we respect our trade plan? Did I buy where I needed to buy as it relates to my strategy? Did I manage risk as it relates to my strategy? Did I exit the position as it relates to my strategy? Right? because whilst we're taking many trades, like there's like a variation of like when it comes to strategies and style, there can be a candlestick that can go from 5 to 6. Perhaps I'm in at 5, out at 620, back in at 625, out at 650. You know, oftentimes there's ways to change that, right? You can scale out slowly. You can opt to hold longer. I mean, we see this thing like every day, like it's clockwork, you know? So a lot of this stuff that I'm hearing really is just noise. And at the end of the day, if we can't be confident in ourselves to do well anywhere, then we're not going to stand a chance. So if you're a confident trader and you're comfortable in your skills to improve and be better and to always keep evolving and to stay cutting edge, this, what's happening right now, it means nothing. This is just another day, you know? But if you're somebody who's scared and afraid, then maybe you have some concerns, right? Maybe you're not confident in what you're doing. This is just another day, baby. Another walk through the park. Just avoid the treacherous areas. And maybe don't go at night so you don't get mugged. Another day. Another day. Another day to also hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Right now we're flat. We're just waiting for something else to hit the scans. Maybe I can do another rotation here too. One thing that I really like about trading is that you don't ever have to lose money, right? Meaning, like if you're going through, like if you're having issues, you're going through a tough time, or you're trying something new, like a new environment, let's say like a new platform, for example, like there's no need to lose money, you know? You can size down, get comfortable to all the new hotkeys, new buttons, new layouts. Like just take time, you know? Like you don't need to create a brand new broker today and then, you know, 500,000 shares your first position into the open. You still have all these things in terms of your strategy, your rules, and how you perceive things. Your experience, your intuition. And then too, depending on the new factors, you know, you just factor that into your strategy and your style. ABVE, BSLK, Looking through some other stocks that came up earlier, not really seeing a ton yet. ABVE is moving back up a little bit, but again, not really as volatile as I would need it to be. MRKR, which was one of the better ones, sold off, and that was a brutal sell-off, by the way, for to look at it. I mean, just absolute madness. Short sellers dream here to catch this one at the highs. It's down 50%. Yeah, nothing that we've looked at before is looking good. So still keeping an eye on the scans and waiting patiently. Cool. Cool to become a short seller. People are calling it the dark side, which is interesting. I think I've heard that before a couple times. You know, as long as you're keeping your stops, or let's say as long as you're respecting your stops, I think that's the key. Even if you're caught into like a violent move to the upside, you know, those big $2, $3 share breakouts or a halt going up, you know, you just have to respect your strategy, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's tough when they go and then you add, and you know they don't really come back down right away. Sometimes you can get squeezed. It reminds me of chemistry class when we would talk about the solute going into the solvent, right? So it's like your money's gonna run out basically before the stock, you know, might come back down. When when we approach this market, it's very important to not ever think that we can drink all the water. You know, meaning it's like an ocean, and we'll probably just drown. You know, the market is the market, and it's the ultimate big boss. So we kind of have to play by its rules in that aspect. If we try to keep adding and keep buying, you know, there's that chance that it's that type of stock, that, you know, HKD kind of stock that just keeps going. And then the broker just says, hey, we got to liquidate this position for you because this is getting too crazy. And that's like the ultimate risk of going short. So as long as we're respecting the strategy, you know, in terms of stop losses, and then for the long side, you know, we're not safe either, right? We can't average down, break the rules, revenge trade, overtrade. You know, some stocks go lower. I mean, I've spoke with students in the past who've had positions that I told them the right thing to do, right, which is to cut the trade. I mean, it can happen to anyone. I've spoke to people who've been down over 500,000. I've spoke to people who've been down 300,000 plus. I mean, people are coming at different start points, right? Some people have different access to money and finance when they're starting their trading career. So for someone who's like a multi-millionaire, you know, losing like 300,000 might not mean much compared to someone else, right? So these things can happen. Yeah, for us, you know, averaging down, I think is the biggest one because people will do it in hopes that there's a red to green and their average is lower, but sometimes the stock just never, I mean, what's the ticker here? MRKR is a good example. I mean, I think anybody would have thought this would have curled up a little bit at least at some point before then going back down. Maybe down here, I retested a VWAP. I retested a VWAP right here, and then maybe it keeps pulling back. In which case, you come back to break even because you bought lower. You're out, and then it keeps going down. But I mean, this never did anything. It can be a tough situation to be in. Some people go the route of being an investor at that point and hope that, within like 9 months time, the stock has a miracle breaking news and it's back at like $10. Can that happen? Yeah, but there's just so much risk. Did I ever learn anything from Ross Cameron? Yeah, I learned a little bit from Ross. I watched some of Ross's live streams in the past, and then recaps as well. I think Ross is a good guy. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm using this day trade dash. I mean, honestly, I don't want to sound bad saying this, but it's like something like this to me like is like nothing, right? It's just a scanner, so I'm gonna still just talk freely here. Like I'm not gonna ever be bought or sold. That can't happen. Though and hopefully that's not like seen as like the wrong way, but I just wanted people to know that this is just me talking, right? I think the guy is a good guy in terms of what he's doing and the transparency, At the end of the day, if anybody's making that kind of money, you got to see like some sort of like encouragement from it, motivation. That's for me the key. It's like knowing someone made $1 million in a day, $500,000 in a day, whatever, 100K in a day. It's like it lets you know that there's so much more out there to do, And you watch a recap and it's like the technical analysis is there. Perhaps you could learn something new that can help you out in your own strategy, right? I watched him. I used to watch Ross, Clay Trader. I don't know if Clay Trader is really still like active, but Tim Sykes, like I never really watched too much Tim Sykes. Like maybe like one interview with him. I might have watched like one interview with Tim Sykes, and then I just remember seeing Tim Sykes ads of like throwing the 10,000 at the camera. You don't need 10,000 to day trade, something like that. Maybe like one other video from him, but I'd watch a couple humble videos every now and again. And then John at beginner trading, I watched more than anybody. Him and Ross, like I watch more. John at beginner trading, I still watch him every day actually. Before I start up my own live stream. Today he's talking about the 10 people who are like the top fans. And I was gonna put in the comments with a super chat, like, don't forget that I'm top 3. Because he has that joke going for those of you who might be watching him as well. John and Mitch was the other guy that used to be there, but I think that was years ago. Mitch left to go to Benzinga, I believe. So I watched a ton of like Ross recaps. I never took a course though from him. I never took a course on trading in general, but just, watching on YouTube him, other traders, and then trial and error. Like I used to hold a little longer back in 2019, 2018. And then it was October of late 2019, October is when commissions went to 0. And by the way, what an opportunity looking back in hindsight to buy these companies, Ameritrade, E-Trade back at the time, back in the days. They all dropped like 50% and recovered in like 1 month. I mean, man, just having cash, just having access to cash is like such a huge thing. But anyhows, um, when commissions went to zero, is when I realized like holding longer is not going to make any sense for me because I mean, and it'll still happen even to this day, right? The risk of holding longer is that you'll be green unrealized, not taking the profits, and then the stock can come back down on you, especially if your hotkeys aren't very versatile to be able to sell a portion of the position. You can be in a couple thousand shares, a couple hundred shares, up 20 cents, but your target is like a 60 cent or 50-cent target. And so you're not selling because you think the stock can go more, just to see the stock come back down and stop you out. And then sometimes to slap you in the face and then give the move. And it's like, bro, why not just take this green every time I have this green at all times and then just get back in if the stock wants to keep going? Which is then how we'll buy high and sell higher again. Because I look at this, for those people who went through the course, they'll see, right? Like, it's really and truly every time one trade. But this one trade can become 100 trades, literally. Like, the setup is the setup, and how we're approaching the setup is what's very different, right? Again, if the stock goes from like $1 to $2, could you be in at 1 and out at 2? Of course. But for us, we can't read the future and we don't know if it's going to go to 120 and then go back down to 1 and then, back to 90, 80 and then fail. Christmas tree. So you know what? I'm in at 1. The stock is not 120. I'm in 10,000 shares. You know what? When I zoom out of this trading space, is $2,000 good money? In how long does a stock take to go from 1 to 120? ABVE. Stock might have took 10 seconds, man, on a good day, $2,000 in 10 seconds. Is that something that's good money for me? Relative to a 9-to-5 job and this outside world from trading. So why in the world would I leave this 2K on the table? That's the strategy. That right there. That's what hyper-scalping is. Now we're seeing, especially in this market here now, that the people who are holding at 1 looking for the move to 2, they're seeing it very consistently. Like, they're getting that follow through and that reward when we are seeing stocks open up. And sometimes for us, we're out at 120 and the stock just jumps up to 135 and then we feel like, man, we want it to be maybe back in at 125. It's went up too much. We'll just leave it alone. And then we miss 60 cents of opportunity whilst the person who's holding is just still holding. ABVE, the last 2 minutes, a little active. 3 to 335. Can it continue on this type of trajectory, or is this just a bluff? It's 11. I mean, I might shut it down, call it a flat day. I mean, we're not really seeing anything. The Mighty left out a while back. Oh my gosh. Oh man, the clickbait is real, brother. I'll be at the MMU study session tonight at 8 a.m. I'll be there at the MMU study session. Sabe, 50 million is peanuts for these guys, man. They won't even feel that as a scratch on the fingernail. I think they have like this is a while ago. I think was 1.2 trillion asset under management. I mean, let me check. 10 trillion, bro. 10 trillion. 10.1 trillion as of January 2025. Charles Schwab manages over 10 trillion in client assets. Assets held in brokerage accounts, managed by investment portfolios, and other financial products. Damn, bro. Along with, wait, so how much is Black Vanguard? I know Vanguard is pretty big too. Let me see. Hold up. Dang, I mean, which in Ameritrade probably was like one, and then when they got acquired, Schwab definitely was the bigger company, so it makes sense. Vanguard 9.3 trillion. I mean, I'm surprised Schwab is bigger than them, but it makes sense. And then let's see, BlackRock, the big dogs. It's also saying 10.1 trillion, but that's as of 2023. So that's definitely like 16 trillion now. With how well the market has done over the last 2 years. Are they factoring in leverage with this? Probably not. Because everybody has like 4 times or 6 times their buying power. It's like this money stuff is just interesting because in no other field can you create an account like this and then get access to 4 times your money in terms of purchasing power. You cannot withdraw it out of your account, but you have purchasing power of 4 times. Some brokers 6 times. Like where else in life do we go and just get 4 to 6 times our money? You know, the market is interesting, right? So if your account has 100K, you have like 400K in buying power. Of course, there's risk. You got to be careful. You don't want to over leverage and then lose everything very quickly. But the fact that we have access to that in itself is pretty wild. They don't even check our credit, right? Usually to borrow this kind of money, they'll like check your credit score and all that stuff, like the good old stock market. I think I might shut it down here. Um, We're not really seeing much. We did take losses on XXII. If not, it would have been a decent day. So, and you know, MRKR, could we have done better? I think a little bit more size early. And the break of 3, we were not aggressive enough to jump in. We kind of took our foot off the gas over 3. Or was it over 4? Let's see. I think it might have been over 3. Yeah, over 3. So we needed to do a better job there. We had 65. Bro, this dip, I went up to change my share size. I look back, it's like it's already up 15 cents off the lows. And it's like, damn. Because I wanted to size down for the pullback. And we didn't get a retest or a new low or anything to VWAP. It just held and then, you know, break of 3. Yep, this is a good place to call it. To call it. Call it what you want. BTCS. If only I could sing, man. I'd be singing here a lot of the times, but if I start singing, people will start unsubscribing. My voice is cooked. All right, I'm going to shut it down. For those of you going the distance to 4 p.m., stay disciplined, stay patient. I'm going to take the day in a different direction here. I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's what, Friday? I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 9:10, 9:05 a.m. You know, I could stream pre-market. I could stream. I mean, I'm here every day. I could. But after consideration, you know, I think I'm going to choose the comfortability and the flexibility of not being on stream, and then just start up at 9:05, 9:10. Don't forget, if you want to join the chat room, you can feel free to message me. I'm going to post the link again here, and I'll give you guys the 2-week free trial. Let me create the invite link one more time. So this way you guys can join the conversation before the live stream, during the live stream, and after the live stream. There's the link. Right after this live stream is done, I'm going to go and catch everyone who sent a message and add them to the chat room. You're going to have full access, excluding MMU stuff. But yeah, our chat room at this level is pretty, what word do I want to use? It's pretty controlled. Like, you can't just come in here and just start saying anything, right? There's like bots set up to block certain like profanity and start like crazy, over the top craziness. But like all the normal banter and stuff, you know, that's fine, of course. Yeah, so check out the chat room, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. market time. Stay safe, stay green again. Slightly red, down 120. It's been a slow week. We've been seeing some decent opportunities after 9:30, which is pretty promising, I will say. So hopefully tomorrow and next week we can see hotter stocks. The only issue though, sometimes APM was a little bit better, I'd say, in terms of like the sustainability. Although the fills were crazy. But yesterday, this one held up for a little longer. So that move started. Oh, why is it freezing? Well, E-Trade is having some trouble. The move started 8 p.m. Move started around 9:33 and went till 10:30. So almost an hour of action. Versus today on MRKR. And I think I could have done well on this stock, but you know, I had some distractions yesterday, right? Like I was here dealing with the chaos of maintenance. As you guys know, when you're trading, you need to be dialed in, and I wasn't, right? Today we had 9:50 to 10:12. You know, only 15, 20 minutes there. So, but yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green. Tomorrow again at 9 a.m.